Hi there, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We're live here at Paris Blockchain Week, talking with key opinion leaders and the most impressive founders in the space. Here I have with me Alex from Luna. Can you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Alex. I'm a co-founder at a company called Parfin. The company's been started in 2019, and the goal of the company has always been to enable financial institutions to use blockchain in general, but also crypto. My background before that, I've been a crypto OG for a long time. I've been in crypto since 2013.
Yeah.
I was mining Bitcoin back then. I built a bunch of companies in crypto, from block explorers and then wallets for different coins, all the way to a website called CoinSchedule, which became like one of the biggest ICO portals in the world back in 2017, 18. So I have a lot of experience in the industry. And one of the things that always caught my attention is that you have all these, let's say, tech-savvy, people using crypto, but the real liquidity and the rest of the world, they're all in TradFi, right? And so when we created Parfin, the idea was, can we bring, and join these two things and bring the liquidity of TradFi into crypto and maybe bring the innovation of crypto into TradFi. I don't mean to say we're going to, completely merge the two. I think the two need to exist separately for sure. I'm like a big fan of Bitcoin and the freedom it gives you and Ethereum and other projects. But I think, there's lots of improvements to be made, right? Because most of the people, they can't use crypto still. We've been talking about UX and this and that, but the reality is people still find it difficult. The average person still finds it difficult to use crypto. And so for us, the way we are now tackling this is we developed two products. One product is a platform for brokerage and custody of crypto, which is very popular in LATAM. We have like a Latin America background, and so the company has about 100 people now. We have raised more than $40 million in funding. So this is a product that's doing well in Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, and countries, especially LATAM. And the other product, which is the more recent one, is called Rayls.
Yeah.
And so our approach to Rayls is it's a new blockchain, EVM blockchain for banks. And so it has compliance built in. It has a lot of speed and performance. And it has a dual use. It can be used as a public chain, so there's a public chain on Ethereum layer 2 based on the Orbit stack. And then there's a sequence of permission chains. And so this product, I'm very excited about it, because here's really what I said since the beginning is we are trying to now make it possible for banks to finally use blockchain and let their clients on board on blockchain in a way that feels comfortable to the banks. Right, because the banks have 6 billion clients around the world.
Yeah.
Crypto today has what? I don't know, it depends who you ask, but let's say a few 100 million maybe, right? And so we are trying to now, make it possible for the rest of the world basically to join crypto, and we call this concept unify. So we're trying to unify, let's say DeFi with TradFi.
Yeah, interesting, because that gives you a portal to like the retailers, right?
Yeah.
So is that the only way, or are there other ways that you guys are abstracting complexity from the crypto space?
Yeah, I mean,
can you give me some examples?
I think this is exactly the point. What we're trying to do is this. So in the permission chain, so again, there's a permission chain. Rails is permission and public, right? So in the permission chain, we're working with, for example, the Central Bank of Brazil to do the CBDC project there. Other central banks around the world, JP Morgan, Santander, so some major financial institutions. That's the biggest financial market infrastructure in South America, is also already using Rails in production, tokenizing receivables. So the idea is twofold. One is that the banks, they start using a permission chain because that feels very comfortable for them, because there's no risk basically, right?
Yeah.
But it's a very performant chain and it's fully EVM compatible. That's key. And it has privacy, so you can connect multiple permission chains and form a network. This is all operating already.
Yeah.
And so the idea is the banks can then port their clients onto that chain, but the client uses it through the bank's app. Not only in the permission chain, but also on the public chain. So we're launching the public chain in the coming weeks. And so the idea is the banks, we have banks with like 100 million clients, 150 million clients, right? We have a client in Brazil who has 180 million clients.
Wow.
The idea is to take these clients and allow them to use the public blockchain and DeFi protocols through the bank's app. Because that then for the end user, that's what they want. They trust the bank.
So how do you then safeguard the privacy and decentralization?
Yeah, that's another key question. So one of the technologies we developed is called Enigma, and it uses zero-knowledge technology and homomorphic encryption. And basically what it does is, I was saying that you can form a network of these permission chains.
Yeah.
So when you do, one of the issues, and we face that with both JP Morgan and the Central Bank of Brazil, is you need to give privacy so that even though the network is decentralized, when one transacts, the other cannot see it. Only the receiving and the sending parties should be able to see the balances, the transaction details, and all of that, right? Because imagine if you have multiple banks in the country and two of them are doing a deal, it's not for everyone else to see, right? So we developed this technology which you can plug into the permission system, but also on the public system. So this works on the public chain too, this Enigma technology, and so that people can transact with full privacy, but crucially, and this is key, is there's a way for an auditor, which could be a regulator, to peek into the transactions. Because if you don't do that, that becomes a big issue, right? Because then people start doing mixing services. That's not the point. The point is the public chain in Rails, everyone is KYC'd through the banks. Yeah. This is key. And there's privacy, but there's the role of an auditor that can look into transactions if required.
Okay, interesting. So what do you see as the biggest challenge for the coming 6 months?
I mean, for us, the biggest challenge will be, we need to launch the public chain. There's a token, there's a lot of work happening there. There's all these technologies. A lot of what we're doing is groundbreaking, so it's not like you can copy what someone else did, right? And I think most of it, and I think this now ties back to the gist of our discussion here is marketing. Because I think that what happened today is back in 10 years ago, all you had to do, let's say back in the ICO days, right? You had a project, you had a white paper. If it was half decent and you had a half decent, team and a website, you would launch this and raise funds, right?
Yeah, money.
But today, and some of them, $100 million in 5 minutes. I remember, some of it. But the problem is today it's so noisy, so crowded. The difficulty is not doing those things. The bar is much higher. So what happens is you need support to make sure you can raise above, the crowd, and that people will know you, because that's the problem. It's like people have limited time span attentions, and so you need to do something that will grab people's attention, and that they will be interested to understand what you do and maybe buy the token or not, But if you don't get people attention, you're just one more.
So last question then. So as you guys have been growing, right? You probably must have faced a lot of difficulties and hurdles. Yeah. So what was the biggest hurdle for you to overcome to get here where you are?
Oh, I mean, there's many hurdles all the way, because I've been here in this industry for a very long time, and then Parfin has been around also for almost 6 years now. And so there's been a lot of hurdles in terms of raising funds was a major one. Like I mentioned, we raised about just north of $38 million. But you need to find the right VCs, because most VCs don't understand how crypto works, right? So it's difficult, and hiring people. There's a lot of competition for good people. You can hire people, but the best people are difficult to find and to hire. It's a niche industry still, right? And then I think today one of the biggest challenges is marketing. Because we have the product is amazing. Everyone, our clients, I mean, we're working with major financial institutions, right? And so they tested the technology, they say very good things about it, but then the problem is it's not enough to have good technology anymore. You need to be known, right? And so the market is back to what I was saying before. One of the biggest challenges we have now is ramping up the marketing. We just hired a new CMO. We are just hiring new people for marketing, consultancies, so that we can, get to the point where people know us.
Okay. I still have one more question. So what does your integration with banks, actually it's more business to business, right? But what does it mean for the average Joe?
Well, so what we hope it will mean is this. We want a future where everyone is using blockchain. That's the reason why we chose the name Rails, because we believe this is the Rails, the financial Rails of the future, right? So the vision has always been that in the future, everything is all finance is gonna run on top of blockchain, because there's many advantages. You eliminate the middleman, it's more transparent, it's faster. There's many advantages. But the difficulty so far has been, how do you convince a bank where everything's kind of working already and they're making money, they're happy.
Yeah.
Why would they switch, right? Because it's not like this is a faster database. That's not the point.
No.
The point is that it connects different people without recognizing, borders, and it could be faster and more efficient, but that's not really, what is going to make more money for the bank. So what is the use case,
Yeah.
And I think we're now getting to the point where use cases are becoming clearer. Like, for example, the one I mentioned, we have a client called Nuclea, the biggest financial market infrastructure in the Southern Hemisphere, and they are tokenizing 10,000 receivables per week. And one of the problems they have is, how do they distribute this?
Yeah.
They have all these receivables, commercial receivables, and they pay like the ticket price, like they pay, let's say, 20% per year, but they don't have enough liquidity on the buying side of it. So distributing this on a public chain worldwide could be a very interesting proposition for them. It's a new use case, right? A new way for them to make money and for people to also make money, right?
Yeah.
It's like having a stable coin almost, but backed by a TradFi that's paying yield.
So that's like the future of banking we're talking here, right?
Oh yeah, like banks are going to run on the blockchain. I'm certain of this. I've been certain of this for the last 5 years. It took a while. I think now, coming to the Paris blockchain week, you can see that the conversation has moved a little bit more to the TradFi space, right?
Yeah.
Because before it was very degen, which don't get me wrong, I consider myself as a degen.
Yeah.
I like it, but I think it's now becoming more real, right?
Yeah.
It's the liquidity and all the people are coming together finally.
Finally, yeah. Okay, guys, you heard it. The future of banking from Alex. Thank you so much for your time.
Nice
I wish you
talking to
good luck with everything. And if you want to know more, check our website, bitcoinmagazine.nl, and you'll find the in-depth article and a video if you want to know more about Rails.
Yes.